Hi, my name is Reena, and today I'm going to walk you through the visa application process for South Korea as a student living in the US. Forewarning, the process can be a little bit overwhelming and very time extensive, so I do recommend you start ASAP, but also once you get the hang of it, it's mostly self-explanatory. First, you are going to want to go to the website of the embassy depending on your jurisdiction. You can find that online. For me personally, I am in the DMV area, so my embassy is technically DC. Once you go to the website, you will go down to visa services, go down to visa, because that's what we're applying for, and then scroll down and you will see a bunch of information about visa applications. So we're gonna go to the most recent application guide, and there we have it. This pretty much tells you all you need to know. But going through one by one, we have the jurisdiction check. So this is just to make sure that you're applying to the right place. You can click on that link and scroll down, and here you have all the different consulate generals based off of district, their addresses, and the contact number. Very important that you visit the consulate general and not the embassy itself, because I may or may not have done that. So there are a bunch of different visas that you can apply for. I'm gonna put this in English just for my sake. Here we have the visa navigator. It'll ask you what continent you're living in currently. That's the Americas, or where you're applying from. The country, I'm gonna put United States. Purpose of entry, for me personally, it is study abroad, but as you can see, there are many different options. And then the length of your stay, whether it's less than or more than 90 days, or if it's a permanent residence. For me, I am doing a full semester, so that'll be 91 days or more. Go to start, and there we have it. It's a D2 visa. You can also scroll down to find more information based off of what kind of degree you're going for, the type of visa you're going for. So step 3 is when you're gonna gather all your documents together. First, you will need the visa application form that is with the link. You just click on that. I highly recommend using Adobe Acrobat or whatever PDF editor you have to fill out the details online. And then you can just print it out, you can sign at the bottom, and you should be good to go. And if you do happen to miss something, like somehow I think I missed the name of your high school, they'll highlight it when you go in and be like, hey, just fill this out. You will also need a 2x2 photo, so a passport photo. You can get this super quick I got mine at Staples, which was really efficient and pretty cheap. And from them, you get 2 photos. The photos do have to be taken within the last 6 months, so just keep that in mind. Onto the passport, you do need to turn in your original passport and a copy of it, so you can scan that on your phone, print it out, and hand it to them. You need at least 6 months remaining on the expiration date from the time, I believe, from the time you apply. But just make sure you've got at least 6 months, and you don't need to get it renewed, especially not while you're away, because you can't do that. Another thing about the passport that I didn't realize is that they do need to keep your passport during the processing time to stamp it with the visa, but for Korea specifically, you can opt to get like a piece of paper instead of the actual print. I gave my passport and my copy, and I paid the fee, and then I left. I walked all the way to my car and then realized that I need my passport in a week for something else. And so I had to walk all the way back and be like, hey, do I need to reschedule? Is there any chance I can get my passport back? And it was super efficient, super easy. Just instead of picking up your passport in person, you would download the link online, and then print that out and then show it to officials when you enter Korea. So yes, passport, original, and copy. If you're a non-US citizen and you're applying from the US, you do need a US visa or a green card, and again, that's the original card and a copy. And then you want to review the documents that you need to provide based off of the type of visa that you're applying for. So if we just go ahead and click on this link, you can see all the different types of visas and what they require. So for us, we're applying for a D2 student abroad visa. So these are the basic required documents. It does say you need flight itineraries and a bank statement within the last 3 months. Me personally, they didn't ask for it, but I do recommend still printing it out and having it just in case. And then based off of the specific type of visa you're applying for, you will have additional documents that you have to provide. So first two, an original certificate of admission with your signature and a copy of certificate of business registration from the school that you applied to. These should both be in your acceptance email. In my case, I applied to Yonsei University, and when I got my acceptance letter, they linked a bunch of PDFs, including the certificate of admission that's like official, you can print it out, sign your name, and then a certificate of business. And you can print these in black and white. I personally only have a black and white printer, but that worked totally fine for the passport, for all the copies. And then you need either an official or an unofficial transcript or enrollment letter from your current school. You just go onto your school's website and order a transcript. I recommend trying to get an official transcript just because, like, just to not take the risk. But if you do only have an unofficial transcript, that should work totally fine. You just need proof that you're enrolled. And then if you are receiving financial aid or a scholarship, you do need to provide proof of that. It says the processing time is 5 to 10 days. I don't know if it's just because I applied in I applied kind of late. So I was informed that it's gonna take about 3 weeks for processing. So just keep that in mind and prepare, I would say at least a month before you're leaving, but well before that if you can. And then lastly, you just have to bring fees. So something that they don't put in bold print at first, you kind of gotta scroll down. They only take cash, at least at the DC jurisdiction. So prepare your cash ahead of time. I think the ATM was down. So just come prepared. Here you can see the different types of fees for You can see the different types of fees depending on your nationality. So for me, from the USA, I'm applying, well, all of them are the same, but for 91 days or longer, I'm applying for a $45 visa. So yeah, just bring that with you. So that's it for required documents and fees. Just put those in a folder, keep everything organized, and then you can apply in person. For DC specifically, they only accept in-person applications, so you can't submit materials online, you have to go in person. You will do that by going to the online reservation link. This part gets a little bit challenging, but you gotta just maneuver it. They do have tutorials, they have pictures. There are some online, but I haven't seen many, but it tells you where to go, everything, how to contact them, how to approach it. So you should be able to do it just using the resources they provide. You will click on the link and then you're gonna go to reservation to diplomatic mission. Before you make a reservation, it will ask you to log in using I already made a reservation, so I'm not gonna go through the whole process, but it's pretty simple. Log in with your information, select your mission, so that's what you're applying for, select the date and time that you wish to go in, see your reservation details, and then they'll send you a confirmation email. And then you will go in that day. I recommend coming at least 30 minutes before, just to be safe, at least 15 to 30 minutes, and remember to go to the consulate general and not the embassy. Assuming that you will be leaving your passport with them, you will receive a little yellow card with a date about 2 to 3 weeks after you apply, and that will indicate when you can come in after 2 p.m. to pick up your passport and your visa. And you don't need a reservation for that, you just walk right in. So that is all for the visa process. Let's walk through the application form really quick. So this is what the visa application form looks like. You do want to read the instructions. You have to fill it out completely and correctly to the best of your knowledge, write in block letters. So I recommend just using Adobe if you can. And then put a check mark where you need to, and then just follow the directions. So first step is personal details. So family name, that's last name, given name, first, middle name. This is Chinese name, so if you don't have that, just skip it. Your sex, check, date of birth. Keep in mind when you're writing out dates to write it in the Korean format and not in the US, so it goes year, month, day. Your nationality, for me, American, country of birth, and then national identity number. They don't provide much information about this, but I believe if you're applying from the US, you can just put your social security number and it acts as the same thing. Have you ever used any other names to enter or depart Korea? Fill that out. Are you a citizen of more than one country? And then write out which countries. And then step 2 is determine the status of your stay. So for me, it was long-term. And then where it says status of stay, I just put visiting student or study abroad. This part, leave it blank. That's for them to fill out, so don't worry about that. Step 3, you want to get your passport and put in your passport information. So what kind of passport you have, probably regular, and then your number, country, place of issue, that's like specifically the state, I believe, where you got it, date of issue, date of expiry. Remember those additional 6 months have to be on there. And then if you have any other passports, you fill that out. If not, you can just continue. Step 4 is contact information. So you want to put your home address. If your temporary address, like if your current address is different from your permanent address, like maybe you're filling this out when you're living in an apartment or in a dorm or something like that, you can put your current residential address here. If not, that's fine. Cell phone number, email, and then emergency contact information. Step 5, marital status and family details. So typical, married, divorced, single, and then if you have a spouse, you fill that out. If you have children, fill that out. Step 6 is education. So fill out what is the highest degree or level of education that you have, and then include the name of the school, the location of the school, just self-explanatory. Number 7 is employment. So for me personally, I am employed as a student, so I would check that. And then employment details, you want to put the name of the university, for example. The position would be like undergraduate student, the address of the company, institute, school, you can find that online, and then the telephone number. All right, next step 8, the details of your visit. So check whatever applies to you. For me, it's study and training. Your intended period of stay, I would say if you don't have your returning flight booked yet, I would just calculate the day that you're coming in, and then the last day of your program, and that's listed for you in your program details. And then intended date of entry, that's when you plan to land or arrive. Your address in Korea, for me, I put the address of the dorm I'm staying in. And then contact number in Korea, I don't have one, so I think I left this blank, but that should be fine. If you do have like an eSIM or something set up already, I recommend filling that out. And then have you traveled to Korea in the last 5 years? You put the purpose, period of stay, check yes or no. And then if you've traveled outside your country of residence, not including Korea in the past few years, so like if you've gone out for vacation or visiting friends, you would put the country, the purpose, and then how long you were there. You'll also be asked if you have any family members staying in Korea, so you can put those details there, and if you're traveling there with any family members. All right, this part is a little bit complicated, but you should have all the information you need. Step 9 is your details of invitation. First question is asking if anyone's inviting you to get the visa. So if you are a student studying abroad, chances are you did get an invitation, and that would be from the school because you need a visa to go to the school. So you check yes, and then the name of inviting person or organization, you just put the name of your university. So the date of birth or business registration number, that can be found in it might look a little different depending on the program that you are doing, but in your acceptance letter, you should have a PDF linked that has something called a business registration, and that'll have the number right on there. You just read it right off and copy it into here. The relationship, I put university, and then the address should be listed on that same document, and then their phone number as well. Funding details, this you might need to take a little bit of time to calculate how much you're going to spend. So I did a little bit of budgeting, and then I put that total here. And then if you have somebody like a parent or guardian or someone that's helping you pay for the expenses, You'll put the name of the person, relationship, so like me, I put myself and my parents. The type of support, I just put family, and then contact number to reach them. And then if you did receive assistance with this form, like if you had a teacher or instructor or mentor, somebody helping you with it, you can check yes, put that information there. If not, click no. And then if you need extra space, you can use another piece of paper. You just have extra little notices. So read through those. Declaration, you'll put the date of filling out the application. Here was a little bit confusing because they don't really have like a line for you to put your name or signature, but I just put it right there and right there. And then you print that out and hand it in on the day of your in-person reservation, and you should be good to go. So that's it for the visa application process. If you have any questions or if you found this helpful, please let me know down below. Give this video a like. And yeah, I really hope it helped, and good luck with the process. Bye.